Minneapolis police officers have been fired after the death of a black man during a traffic stop on Monday. Today, the chief of police announced their immediate termination.
This situation and tragedy last night, I've been obviously up all night and reviewing the information that I have to make the decision that I'm standing before you today with many of the community leaders behind me. Before involved former employees, I've made that decision this afternoon.
Attorney Benjamin Crump has identified the man who died as George Floyd. Cell phone video shows a white officer with his knee on Floyd's neck as he restrained him. The FBI is looking into the case, and we warn you, the video is tough to watch. Jessica Gates has the latest from Washington, D.C.
This 10-minute video posted to Facebook overnight shows Minneapolis police officers holding down a man. One officer uses his knee to pin the man's neck down. Several times during the arrest, the man tells officers that he's struggling to breathe and begs for some relief. Some people who gathered at the scene try to help.
Stop being breathing right there, bro.
But as officers work to keep onlookers back, the man on the ground appears to move less and less. 5 minutes into the video, the man seems to be motionless, and the police officer's knee is still on his neck. He's not moving. 7 minutes into the video, an ambulance arrives. When an EMT does the first pulse check, officers still have the man pinned. And when he's loaded onto the ambulance, his hands are still cuffed. Police explained what led up to the incident in an overnight news conference.
After he got out, he physically resisted officers.
Well, there it is. There's the loophole. He resisted. Now, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, and Anthony Brian Logan can make their videos and say that this was a legitimate killing because he shouldn't have resisted.
Officers were able to get the suspect into handcuffs, and officers noticed that the male was going into medical distress.
So, that obvious lie, they sent that poor officer out there to be in collusion with them and tell that bullshit in front of everybody when it's a barefaced lie. And everybody sat there and watched them strangle that man. They killed that man. They didn't notice him going into medical distress. They put him in medical distress. They choked him to death. You can choke a person with more than just your hands. You can choke a person with your thighs. You can choke a person in an arm lock. You can choke a person by sitting on their chest too long and compressing their fucking breathing pad.
Officers called for an ambulance. He was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he died a short time later.
And there's another lie.
He died right there.
That man is dead right here, laying on the floor. That man was dead before the ambulance got there. That is not unconscious weight. That is dead weight. That's why you saw the girl in the crowd run off while she was still standing there. She ran off. She said, yo, y'all just sat there and killed him and ran off crying. You know what I mean? The man was dead as they were loading him onto the gurney. And I don't care what he was doing. I don't
getting
care what
tired
he
of
did
y'all
before.
motherfuckers.
I don't care if he resisted.
We really getting tired of y'all
I don't
motherfuckers.
care what it was. I don't care if he has priors, because that's the first thing y'all gonna do is look up all his priors, and y'all gonna sit there and put out all his priors now.
Who the fuck is the cop? We need his name.
That's involuntary manslaughter. Should be fired.
The Oriental cop, and definitely that white cop with his knee
8 to 10 years
on his back.
It's not enough. I know he's gonna get that police benefit. It is what it is, but that man needs to go in jail. And when he comes out, he needs to come out as one convicted for manslaughter. Period.
The being black in America should not be a death sentence. When you hear someone calling for help, you are supposed to help. This officer failed in the most basic human sense.
This is reminiscent of Eric Garner's very same words, "I can't breathe," uttered as he was dying on the streets of Staten Island, New York in 2014. That phrase became a rallying cry for millions and a nationwide plea to end police brutality.
Set Minnesota on fire.
News, Washington.
And respect to Mayor Yakub, Mayor Jacob Frey for stating the obvious and making a statement and coming out at threat of his own safety and career, as we now learn that these DAs and these mayors and governors are scared of the police because the police will retaliate. So respect to the mayor for stating the obvious and being the first one to show some goddamn humanity. Now we already know Candace Owens is cooking it up. She's getting her angles together. Brandon Tatum, he's cooking it up. He's getting it ready. ABL, he the quickest witted one, so he probably already dropping as I'm speaking. I gotta go check their channels. But you know something else that I noticed them both saying? I noticed Anthony. No. I noticed fucking Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens. I noticed they're starting to repeat the same line this week, both of them. So what I heard Candace say in regards to something she was talking about, she said two different people can both be wrong about the same thing. She said Ahmaud Arbery shouldn't have been out trespassing and breaking and entering, and the McMichaels shouldn't have chased him down and killed him. See how I did that? Two people are both right or wrong about the same thing. I forgot how the fuck she termed it. Right or wrong about the same thing. Two people can be right about the same thing, or two people can be wrong about the same thing. But she said, see how I did that? And then that wasn't the point, because that wasn't the point she made in the entire Ahmaud Arbery case. She was saying straight out, flat out, and she still says he was breaking and entering and trespassing. So you already know. That's their new line. Two people can be right or wrong at the same time. So they're going to say this man shouldn't have been resisting. He shouldn't have been committing fraud. He shouldn't have been doing forgeries. Whatever the fuck he was doing, he shouldn't have resisted. And then they're going to say, but at the same time, this officer should at some point probably got up off his neck. But that'll be in the response episode. And the response episode, when they self-correct, is usually the 6th episode they do. The first 4 or 5, toxic. He deserved it. He shouldn't have resisted. It was his problem. He knew he had heart problems. He knew he wasn't in no position to be wrestling with the police. So he put himself in jeopardy. Yeah, that's what Candace Owens line, if I ever heard one. You know what I mean? He knew he had heart problems. He knew he wasn't in a position or in any shape to be wrestling with the police. So he brought this on himself. The officer can't help it if he's in great shape and doesn't do drugs. And while I'm listening to it, you hear the Asian cop and the white cop, while people are voicing their fears and concerns, hey, you're choking them out. They're like, well, that's what you get for doing crack. Go back and listen to it. The Asian cop said, well, that's what you get for doing crack. And then the white cop that killed him said, don't do drugs. Yeah, that's my word. Go back and listen to it, and you'll hear one of the officers. I gotta look which one it was. Go back and listen to it. I know it's hard, but go back and watch it in its entirety. And watch one of the officers say, let that be a lesson, children. Don't do crack. Straight up. Go back and listen to it. You'll hear one of the officers say that. So now what I'm going to say in regards to that is I definitely want to see a drug test on the brother. Not that it matters. But I want to see a drug test on the brother. I want to see a toxicology report on the brother. I want to see them say he was on drugs and more than weed. I want to hear them say that. You know what I mean? So that right there, not that it matters. The officer's still guilty. You understand what I'm saying? He's still guilty. You know what I mean? But I want to just make sure that he wasn't just, just, just saying some shit like that. I mean, if this man does not have crack or cocaine or some high powered drug above marijuana or something in his system, you know that means this man just carelessly just threw that out there to just demonize him to the public to kind of legitimize what they were doing to him. Like that's how you legitimize. They were yelling, "Well, he's a crackhead." Go listen to the tape, man. So this is what they say. If you say you can't breathe, they're gonna laugh and say, "What, you Eric Garner now?" Come on, man. Imagine that. They're choking you to fucking death. You're saying you can't breathe, and they're laughing amongst each other, saying under their breath, "Oh, what, you Eric Garner now? You can't breathe." He had his knee on the man's neck 7, 8 minutes after putting him in cuffs, and after the man said, "I give up," and after the man said, "I cannot breathe." Those are the three things that these people's lawyer are going to definitely stand on. All right, he resisted all of that. Yep, he resisted. However, it got to a point to where he was subdued. He was in cuffs. He had stopped resisting. He had stated he's finished. He gave up. He said he cannot breathe. He needs help. The officer maintained the position. Yo, he has, look at him. He has both hands in his pockets. Do you understand what the hands in the pockets do for a person who has their knees on the back of someone's neck? It gives them more pound per pressure or more pressure per pound. It puts the entire weight right there in the kneecaps. He intentionally choked him. To hold him down, you would be on his back, if anything. This was a murder, but being that he's a police officer, he'll get a manslaughter. Being that they'll say, well, the officer didn't get up this morning with an intention of choking someone out. Bullshit. That's what they're going to say. I hate reporting on this bullshit. But since when was fraud, credit card fraud, forgery, whatever was going on, since when was that a death sentence? You know, if Mr. Floyd resisted, all right, he deserved to have his ass beat to a certain degree, pursued and subdued, yes. But when did it become excessive? There's a point that it became excessive. Do you understand? Like right here, right there. When you're applying your knee to the back of a man's neck with your full weight, collapsing the man's esophagus while he's screaming, "I can't breathe," you are negligent of involuntary manslaughter. Period. I'm sorry, y'all. Even if that cop's not a racist, there's racial hatred in those knees. The way those knees are positioned on that man's neck and throat is racial fucking hatred in that fucking knees. That's my word. And that Asian cop, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta understand, yo. Look, y'all, we like watching those karate flicks, Japanese and Chinese, and one thing you notice about those flicks, they're violent. We know the gun, they know sword, they know knife, they know dynamite, they know traps. You know what I mean? So we dealing with people that have a different sense of violence than we do. To them, this was all textbook. Bunker. What about black on black crime? You race baiting.